चलो आओ। हिलना मत, रुक जाओ।
Weapon strike and prepare F-35. 232 लगभग 16,000 यार्ड पर है।
Fire!
2, 1, 5.
एग्जिट सिक्योर करो। चलो उठो, पीछे हटो। कुछ नहीं करूंगा।
Hey,
आज बंद है।
चलो कम ऑन, चलो चलो चले। चलो अंदर। चलो जल्दी चलो।
शूट।
30 सेकंड्स में मैं वहां पहुंचती हूँ। जल्दी।
शूट मत करना।
उसे चोट लगी।
वो लड़की उधर है।
मेरे साथ रहना। हमें वो जिंदा चाहिए। काय को? तो मैं कवर करता हूँ, उसे लेकर
मेरी मदद करो। चाली रुको। अपनी जगह से मत हिलना। मेरी बात मानो चार्ली और मरने का नाटक करो।
चलो यहाँ से निकलो।
चलो बैठो रे।
बॉस बैठ जाइए।
चलो जल्दी।
पिछली बार उनकी किस्मत अच्छी थी, इस बार दबोच ले लो।
मेरी मदद करो।
बता रही है। लड़की
मैं आ रहा हूँ। कसकर पकड़ना। ऐसा नहीं सुनेंगे। हम यहाँ हैं। गन फेंक दो। सबको कहो कि गन फेंके।
बम मेरे पैरों के नीचे है।
ब्राओ मैं कुछ करता हूँ। ये सब छोड़ो और जाओ यहाँ से। 2 मिनट।
डिफ्यूज नहीं होगा।
तुम जाओ यहाँ से।
और अब माइंस
छोड़ दो, जाओ यहाँ से।
तुम्हारे हटते ये एक
नीचे से आ रहा है।
मेरी बात सुनो। लूंगा फिर कूदेंगे। एक
करीब रहना।
मैं भी नहीं चाहता कि मुझे गोली लगे।
जाओ।
आओ आओ, बाहुबली को मदद चाहिए। चलो जल्दी।
आबादी
और मोहम्मद ने कार का बंदोबस्त किया है।
जल्दी चलो, कवर दो। ये लो, बॉम्ब को बचाओ। जल्दी, मैं तुम्हें कवर देता हूँ।
अंदर बैठो जल्दी। के वाइटल डिटेक्ट नहीं हो पा रहे हैं।
चलो आगे बढ़ो।
फंस जाएंगे।
सुनो जो मुझे कवर करो।
यस सर।
पीछे हट जाओ। वापस आओ। मेरी बेटी को बचाओ।
जाओ, जो कहता हूँ वो करो। चल
रुक जाइए। चलो चलो
अंदर आओ।
सावधान। कसकर पकड़ो।
Welcome to DP Action Channel. Please subscribe and press the bell icon. About 1 in every 5 new Jackie Chan film is worthwhile, and the Chinese super spy thriller Vanguard is not the one. Rather, it's the latest expression of Chan's outspoken nationalism, which isn't that surprising given that he has repeatedly spoken out against Hong Kong protesters. In Vanguard, Chan plays Huanting Tang, the boss of Vanguard, an international security firm whose problem-solving skills and ass-kicking abilities are repeatedly conflated with their moral authority. Tang and his employees flex their righteous muscles and try to set a good example for this past Lunar New Year by protecting misguided accountant Goldie Chin Jackson Liu from the Brotherhood of Vengeance, a Middle Eastern terrorist group that Chin reluctantly helped to fund and therefore arm with weapons of mass destruction by selling oil and artifacts in Europe. The movie's off-putting and constantly foregrounded political agenda wouldn't be so unpleasant if the action scenes were more plentiful and or thrilling. They aren't, leaving the bulk of Vanguard to be carried by impersonal, computer-generated enhanced stunt work, Chan's tough guy talk, and some fine but unremarkable performances from his younger, less charismatic co-leads, Lun Ai and Yang Yang. Chan's latest star vehicle didn't need to be anything more than a good work of propaganda, but it's not even compelling on those terms. Vanguard begins with a playful fight scene, choreographed by semi-regular collaborator Guan Huahan. Chinese Zodiac, police story, lockdown. Dutiful husband and father Kixuang Ai and faithful bachelor Zhenyulei Yang stop a mercenary group called the Arctic Wolves. They'll do anything for money, from kidnapping Chen and delivering him to the Brotherhood of Vengeance. Lei proves himself in a rare moment of endearingly tacky fantasy heroics. I'm from Vanguard, he yells before tackling Chen and crashing through a window onto the street several feet below, where a traditional lion dance is being performed. From there, Lei is dispatched to Africa to protect Chen's daughter Farida Rohankshuo. Unfortunately, Lei also gets kidnapped by the Brotherhood of Vengeance, which kicks off an elaborate international rescue operation that starts in London's Trafalgar Square, then heads for the hills of fictional Giatabala, actually Zambia, and ends up in Dubai's water fountains. This sort of chest-thumping, globe-trotting, anti-terrorism adventure is similar to Chan's own Kung Fu Yoga, which is partly set in an advertising for Dubai, as well as jingoistic Chinese action blockbusters like Wolf Warrior 2 and Operation Red Sea, both of which deploy Chinese mercenaries and soldiers to fictional countries in Africa and the Middle East for the sake of deposing fictional terrorist threats. These movies reduce political theater to sock puppet entertainment, which also isn't that surprising since all new Chinese films require approval from the mainland government. Some exceptional recent mainland blockbusters work both as popcorn entertainment and propaganda. Hello, The Wandering Earth. But Vanguard isn't one of them. Even if the movie's action scenes were stronger, they'd still be constantly interrupted by dire, momentum-smothering expository dialogue, like when Arctic Wolves leader Brodo Brahim Cheb asks a subordinate, "What is Vanguard?" and is sadly answered with a PowerPoint presentation's worth of information. Their services include security for shipping, and VIP protection. Viewers are also constantly reminded that the main difference between Vanguard and the Brotherhood of Vengeance is that Vanguard is Chinese, Jiawa uncredited, and even the movie's concluding titles, Kick Swan's son, compares him to Captain China, who is mightier than Captain America, while the Arctic Wolves hire African poachers who compare themselves with computer-generated hyenas. Also, Tang won't shake hands with Chen because greed is the root of all evils and protecting the innocents is our paramount duty. You don't ever need to read between the lines to know who R is. It's spelled out, underscored, italicized, and bolded in every other scene. There are, however, a few moments of joyful spectacle at the start of Vanguard, like an early whitewater rafting chase featuring an expensive-looking jeep which also doubles as a watercraft with retractable wheels. This gonzo set piece is the exception that proves the rule, generally speaking, though there is a fun Fast and Furious-esque car chase later on in Guatemala featuring a couple of hulking SUVs that rocket off of Zambian cliffs and into a building or two. Still, the best Jackie Chan-related moment in Vanguard has to be when Tang prepares to leap over an indoor mall's guardrail in order to nab a suspect. A sly wink to fans who know Chan for his famous Christmas light small jump and police story. A fellow security guard stops Tang just in time. Wait. There's stairs over there. The rest of Vanguard isn't as enjoyable since it's more expensive looking than actually thrilling. Even Chan's usual behind-the-scenes blooper reel isn't as fun as it usually is since his presence is often overshadowed by his various stunts moving parts. Here's hoping that Chan will make great stunt work and action choreography his paramount duty in his next movie, which may or may not be the best of his next 5. Synopsis: Chen Goli, a Chinese accountant based in Britain, is forcibly hired by Ma Sim, the leader of the terrorist organization Brothers of Vengeance, to finance his plans. After Chen informs Scotland Yard, Ma Sim is killed in an operation by U.S. forces, but his son Omar survived and now wants to get his hands on his father's money, the location of which is known to Chen. Omar hires the Arctic Wolves mercenary group, which kidnaps Chen and his new wife Mai Wei during Chinese New Year festivities in London's Chinatown. Vanguard, an international security company tasked with protecting Chen, sends agents Zhang Kixuang, Lei Zhenyu, Yan Yang, and Mia Miyamaki to rescue him. After the successful operation, Chen asks Vanguard's director Tang Huanting, Jackie Chan, to protect his daughter Farida Xuruohan N, who is currently in Africa, before Omar can use her as leverage against him. Tang, Lei and Mia travel to Africa and find Farida, but must also confront the Arctic Wolves and a group of poachers who have been hired as additional backup. During the first altercation, Lei and Farida become separated from the rest of the group and hide in the nearby jungle, forcing Tang and Mia to search for them on foot, guided by the satellite tracking provided by Vanguard headquarters. Tang and Mia join their companions and fight off their pursuers in a furious chase across the river with an amphibious car and multimarines, which ends with Tang and Mia being trapped and Lei and Farida captured. Brodo, the leader of the Arctic Wolves, offers to exchange his captives for Chen, who immediately accepts. Tang rallies his agents to storm Omar's fortress in the Middle Eastern city of Guatemala and rescue the hostages. With local help, Vanguard agents infiltrate the heavily guarded fortress and prepare for the next day's exchange. However, Omar and Brodo were expecting an intervention, and the operation quickly degenerates into a gunfight. When Vanguard is surrounded and overwhelmed, Chen surrenders to allow the agents to escape. Tang, Lei, Zhang, Mia and Farida then travel to Dubai, where Ma Sim has deposited his fortune, and cooperate with the local police to monitor two Arctic Wolves mercenaries who have arrived here to facilitate a major arms deal for Omar with Masim's money. Incidentally, this also gives Omar the opportunity to try to kill Admiral Greg Dawes, the man who killed Masim and who has just arrived in Dubai. Heavily guarded on both sides, Omar, Brodo and Chin meet arms dealer Joseph at a used car dealership, where money is converted into cars and pure gold. In exchange for his fee, Joseph provides Omar with a control system for a combat drone, which Omar wants to use against Dawes. The Dubai police conduct an operation against the terrorists, but their approach gives Omar's men enough time to activate the drone and escape in the gold cars. Vanguard agents move in to intercept the terrorists, and thanks to the Dubai police's warning, the American forces intercept and destroy the drone. The chase ends in a shopping mall, where Omar and Brodo are overpowered and arrested, and the film ends with the protagonist celebrating Chinese New Year in Dubai. Jackie Chan and longtime collaborator Stanley Tong strike out miserably in their seventh film together. Vanguard is a bumbling G-spectacle with a ludicrous plot, terrible acting, and strained nationalistic themes. The fight scenes are decently choreographed, but lost in the barrage of cartoonish gun violence. The film elicits minor chuckles with fleeting moments of slapstick humor. The laughs are the sole bright spot. Vanguard is a big disappointment from two of China's storied filmmakers. Vanguard starts on a festive note during the Chinese New Year celebration in London. A wealthy businessman, Chin Goli Jackson Lu, and his trophy wife are kidnapped in broad daylight by vicious mercenaries. Little do they know that Chin is being tracked by Vanguard, an international security firm for elite clients. Vanguard's CEO, Tang Huanting Jackie Chan, activates nearby agents Lei Zhenyu Yang Yang, Zhang Kixuang Ai Lun, and Miyamaki. They rescue Chin, but learn of a deeper conspiracy. Chin is being hunted by an African terrorist named Omar Adarani. He has critical information that Omar desperately wants. Chin's daughter, Farida Xuruohan, a social media star, is in the African jungle on a wildlife conservation mission. Vanguard dispatches a team to recover Farida before Brodo Brahime Kabak, Omar's lead henchman, gets to her. Vanguard aims for a Bond Fast and Furious-styled adventure mix with loads of gadgets, beautiful women, and exotic locations. The failure lies in the clumsy execution. First, the visual effects in the film are stunningly bad. Any scene involving animals or vehicle chases become G-effects at certain points. The change is obvious and poorly done. The film turns into a laughable video game. The bad guys rain weapons fire on the protagonists. They'd be better off throwing their guns instead. The bullets are essentially noisy firecrackers. The goofy action detracts from the skill of the martial arts combat. It's a cluttered mess that sadly looks awful. Jackie Chan gets top billing, but is a supporting character in Vanguard. The younger leads have the most screen time and majority of action scenes. Chan shows flashes of his trademark acrobatics, but leaves the heavy lifting to the ensemble. The problem is that they are not as charismatic. The interaction between the Vanguard team and Farida is bonkers silly. Director-writer Stanley Tong Supercope, Jackie Chan's first strike goes overboard on the comical elements. He crosses the line from humorous to dumb. This is especially true for the female characters. The supporting actresses are largely relegated to giggling, flirting, and the traditional damsel in distress. Miyamaki has a few good fights, but is then used as a honey trap in an eye-rolling scene. I am a big fan of Jackie Chan and Stanley Tong. I remember waiting in line to see Rumble in the Bronx. Vanguard is such a huge letdown. There's really nothing to recommend here. The action is ruined completely by the G. It boggles the mind that the filmmakers in studio accepted such abysmal special effects. Vanguard is a production of China Film Shanghai International Media Company, China Film Group Corporation, and Shanghai Tencent Pictures Culture Media. The film will have a major North American theatrical release, including IMAX screens, from Gravitas Ventures on November 20th. Thanks for watching.